The sun rises over the Mount of Olives, casting golden light on Jerusalem's ancient stones. As the city awakens, the first rays of dawn reveal a landscape shaped by centuries of hope, struggle, and devotion. For millennia, this city has witnessed empires rise and fall and heard the prayers of countless generations. Its walls have seen the march of armies, the footsteps of prophets, and the dreams of pilgrims from every corner of the earth. Its narrow alleyways echo with history. Every stone has a story. The worn paths beneath our feet are silent witnesses to the joys and sorrows of those who came before us. Jerusalem is a city of contrasts, deep faith, fierce conflict, and vibrant life. Here, ancient traditions meet the rhythms of modern existence, and the sacred mingles with the everyday. The skyline is marked by the Dome of the Rock, ancient church spires, and the Western Wall. These landmarks stand as symbols of the city's enduring spiritual legacy. Below, markets bustle with merchants and children's laughter. The scents of spices and fresh bread fill the air, and the sounds of bargaining blend with the melodies of street musicians. This city is not just old buildings, it's a living, breathing entity, drawing people from around the world. Every day new stories are written as visitors and locals cross paths in its storied streets. To understand Jerusalem, you must look beneath the surface, beyond modern streets. Layers of history lie hidden underground, waiting to be uncovered by archaeologists and dreamers alike. The story begins with a small settlement on a rugged hill, chosen for its strategic location and precious water. Here, life first took root, sustained by springs that still flow today. This early city was called Jebus, home to the mysterious Jebusites. Their culture and customs remain shrouded in mystery, but their legacy endures in the stones beneath our feet. They built the first walls, setting the stage for all that followed. These fortifications would become the foundation for centuries of growth, conflict, and renewal. Jerusalem's story is one of transformation, from a Jebusite fortress to the spiritual center of three world religions. Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike have found meaning and inspiration within its boundaries. It's a tale of conquest, faith, and destruction. Again and again the city has been torn down and rebuilt, each time rising from the ashes with renewed purpose. We'll journey back to witness these foundational moments, through the eyes of its earliest inhabitants and the kings who shaped its destiny. Their choices echo through the ages, shaping the Jerusalem we know today. This is the story of how Jerusalem became a city forever caught between heaven and earth. Its spirit endures, suspended between the sacred and the everyday, a place of eternal significance where the past and present are forever intertwined, and where every sunrise brings new hope to an ancient land. Long before King David's arrival, the city atop this hill was home to the Jebusites, a proud and resilient Canaanite tribe whose legacy is etched into the very stones of ancient Jerusalem. The Jebusites chose this hilltop for its formidable natural defenses. Steep valleys and rugged slopes on three sides made it nearly unassailable, a natural fortress in a wild land. With remarkable skill, they built and reinforced the settlement with thick stone walls, transforming the hill into the stronghold of Jebus, a city that would stand for generations. Daily life revolved around survival, hard work, and community. The Jebusites cultivated wheat, barley, olives, and grapes on terraced hillsides, relying on the land's bounty and their own ingenuity. Their society was organized under a king or chieftain, whose leadership focused on defending the city and ensuring the well-being of its people. The Jebusites shared language, customs, and religious beliefs with their Canaanite neighbors, trading goods and stories in bustling marketplaces. Their city was compact and densely built, with homes and public spaces crowded together atop what is now known as the city of David Hill. Massive stone walls and ramparts encircled the city, deterring would-be invaders for centuries and giving the Jebusites a sense of safety. Archaeological discoveries reveal their expertise as stonemasons, able to craft barriers that have withstood the test of time. Many armies gazed upon Jebus's walls and deemed the city too difficult to conquer, turning away in frustration. Inside the walls, the Jebusites lived in relative peace, confident in their city's strength, unaware that change was looming on the horizon. Their spiritual life was rich and deeply connected to the land. They worshipped Canaanite gods at shrines and altars, performing rituals to ensure prosperity and protection. For the Jebusites, the hill itself was sacred, guarded not only by stone, but by the favor of their deities. As the original guardians of this land, the Jebusites were the first to call these hills home, shaping its earliest stories and traditions. Yet, As the sun set over their ancient city, the era of the Jebusites was drawing to a close, soon to be transformed by new rulers and new destinies. Jebus's true secret wasn't its walls but water, the Gihon Spring. Hidden in plain sight, this spring was the city's most precious treasure, quietly sustaining life for generations. In the dry, sun-baked Judean hills, where water is rare and every drop is precious, this spring was life itself, flowing year-round. Its steady stream turned barren land into a place where people could settle, farm, and thrive. Without the Gihon, there would be no Jebus, no Jerusalem. The city's very existence depended on this miraculous source, which made it possible for a community to flourish in such a challenging landscape. But the spring was outside the walls, a vulnerability during siege. Enemies could cut off access, threatening the city's survival in times of conflict. The Jebusites engineered a brilliant solution, a tunnel, now called Warren's Shaft, connecting the city to the spring. This remarkable feat of ancient engineering allowed them to reach water without exposing themselves to danger. This secret passage let them access water safely, making Jebus nearly invincible. It was a lifeline in times of peace, and a shield in times of war. The Gihon Spring was also sacred, a place where the divine touched the human world. People gathered here not just for water but for blessings, rituals, and connection to something greater. Its gushing flow inspired awe and religious rituals. The sound of water became a symbol of hope, renewal, and the mysterious forces that shaped their lives. The spring nourished both body and spirit, sanctifying the land. It was a gathering place, a source of stories, and a wellspring of community. This combination of defensible hill and secure water made Jebus a strategic prize. It was a city built on survival, ingenuity, and faith. For centuries, the Jebusites controlled this vital spot, shaping its destiny and leaving their mark on history. The Gihon Spring anchored their survival and beliefs, binding the people together through hardship and celebration alike. It was the city's heart, pulsing with life, a constant reminder of nature's power and the resilience of those who called this place home. But soon, it would play a role in the city's dramatic conquest, as new ambitions and new leaders set their sights on Jerusalem. A new power was rising, and the fate of the city, and its spring, was about to change forever. The hill of Jebus was sacred long before the Israelites arrived. Ancient peoples chose hilltops for worship, believing them closer to the gods. The Jebusites continued this tradition, building altars to Canaanite deities like El, Baal, and Asherah. Rituals for rain, harvest, and protection filled the air with smoke and prayer. Melchizedek, king of Salem and priest of God Most High, appears in Genesis, hinting at the site's ancient spiritual significance. When the Israelites eyed this hill, they saw not just a fortress but a place steeped in centuries of worship. It was no blank slate, but a land with its own gods and sacred history. Conquering Jebus would be both a military and spiritual victory. The transformation would replace old beliefs with new, turning a Canaanite high place into the heart of Israelite faith. The city's destiny as a spiritual center was already taking shape. The stage was set for a dramatic change. For years, Jebus seemed unconquerable, its walls defying Israelite attacks. By King David's time, it remained a Canaanite stronghold between Israel's tribes. David needed a neutral capital to unite his kingdom. Jebus was perfect, but first, he had to take it. A direct assault was futile. David needed cunning. The Bible hints that his men entered through the Sinor, likely the water shaft. David's warriors, led by Joab, crept through the tunnel from the Gihon Spring, climbing the dark shaft into the city. The Jebusites, confident in their defenses, were caught off guard. David's men emerged inside, overpowered the guards, and opened the gates. The city fell in a single night, not by force but by stealth and strategy. David had his prize. The age of the Jebusites ended. The age of Davidic Jerusalem began. With Jebus conquered, David made it his capital, the city of David. Its neutrality united the tribes of Israel and Judah. David expanded and fortified the city, transforming it into a royal center. But he knew Jerusalem needed more than politics. It needed a soul. That soul was the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred chest holding the Ten Commandments. David organized a grand procession, bringing the Ark to Jerusalem with music and dancing. This act transformed Jerusalem from a secular capital into a holy city. God's presence now resided within its walls. Jerusalem became the nation's spiritual heart, the one place for all Israel to worship. Politics and faith were now united. The old high places were replaced. David laid the foundation for Jerusalem as the eternal capital of the Jewish people, a city of both king and God. David dreamed of building a temple for the ark, but the task fell to his son Solomon. Solomon began construction on Mount Moriah, a site rich in sacred history. With help from King Hiram of Tyre, Solomon gathered materials and skilled workers. The temple was an architectural marvel, stone outside, cedar and gold within. It had 3 parts: the outer court, the holy place, and the Holy of Holies. The ark was placed in the Holy of Holies, entered only by the high priest once a year. When the temple was dedicated, the glory of the Lord filled it. Solomon's temple became the center of Jewish life for nearly 4 centuries. It was a symbol of the covenant between God and Israel. The city's spiritual destiny was fulfilled, but its glory would not last forever. For 4 centuries, Solomon's temple stood at the heart of Jewish life. But after Solomon, the kingdom split and instability followed. By the 6th century BCE, Babylon, led by Nebuchadnezzar, threatened Jerusalem. After repeated rebellions, Babylon laid siege to the city. The walls held for months, but famine and disease ravaged the people. Finally, the Babylonians breached the walls, looted, and destroyed the city. The temple was burned, its treasures taken, its glory reduced to ashes. Survivors were exiled to Babylon, the beginning of the Babylonian captivity. The city was left desolate, its people in mourning. It was the darkest moment in their history. Jerusalem's physical destruction was total, but its story was far from over. The destruction of Jerusalem was not the end, but a new beginning. In exile, the Jewish people clung to their city's memory, writing sacred texts and strengthening their faith. Prophets offered hope of return and redemption. Judaism evolved. Worship shifted from sacrifice to prayer and study. When the Persians allowed their return, the exiles rebuilt the temple and their bond with Jerusalem. The city's ancient stories became the foundation for its future. The Second Temple rose on the same sacred ground. Later, the Romans destroyed it, but the Western Wall remained. Jerusalem's holiness grew for Jews, Christians, and Muslims alike. The Jebusite fortress became David's capital, Solomon's spiritual center, and an eternal symbol of faith and hope. The ancient secrets of Jerusalem still shape its present and future. In 539 BCE, the Persian king Cyrus the Great conquered Babylon, ending the mighty Neo-Babylonian Empire and forever altering the course of history in the ancient Near East. With this victory, the fate of Jerusalem, once a proud city, now a memory in exile, was about to change dramatically. Cyrus issued a remarkable decree, inviting the Jewish exiles to return to their homeland after nearly 70 years in Babylonian captivity. For many, this was the fulfillment of long-held hopes and ancient prophecies. Led by Zerubbabel, a descendant of David, and Joshua the high priest, the first groups of returnees arrived to find Jerusalem in ruins, its once mighty walls reduced to rubble, the temple that had been the heart of their faith now a desolate heap of stones. The journey home was long, perilous, and filled with uncertainty. Families traveled across harsh deserts, braving the elements and the unknown, driven by a powerful sense of hope and longing for restoration. But their return was about more than rebuilding walls. It was about reclaiming their faith, their traditions, and their identity as a people chosen and tested by history. Cyrus and the Persian administration supported their mission, returning sacred temple vessels looted decades earlier and providing resources to help them begin anew. This royal support was unprecedented and gave the exiles a sense of legitimacy and hope. Yet not everyone welcomed their return. The neighboring peoples, especially the Samaritans, viewed the newcomers with suspicion and sometimes open hostility, fearing the changes their arrival might bring. The land itself was unforgiving. Fields lay barren, homes were destroyed, and the task of rebuilding seemed overwhelming. The returnees faced hunger, hardship, and the daunting challenge of forging unity among themselves. Disagreements, setbacks, and moments of despair tested their resolve. Some questioned whether the dream of restoration was even possible, yet the vision of a renewed Jerusalem, a city where God's presence would once again dwell, gave them strength to persevere, even in the darkest moments. Every stone they lifted, every prayer they uttered, was an act of faith. This was more than construction. It was the rebirth of a nation and the rekindling of a sacred covenant. The return from exile marked a turning point in Jewish history. setting the stage for the building of the Second Temple and the renewal of religious life in Jerusalem. Against all odds, the exiles began to rebuild their lives, their homes, and their city, forging a new future from the ashes of the past. Their unwavering faith and determination would shape Jerusalem's destiny for generations to come, inspiring countless others with their resilience. The city's rebirth was not just a physical transformation, but a powerful testament to the enduring spirit of hope and renewal. Jerusalem's story was far from over. With every sunrise, a new chapter began, one of faith, struggle, and the unbreakable will to begin again. The exiles' first priority was rebuilding the temple, the heart of their faith. Under Zerubbabel and Joshua, they cleared the Temple Mount and laid a new foundation. The young rejoiced, but elders wept, remembering Solomon's lost splendor. Scarce resources and hostile neighbors, especially the Samaritans, stalled progress. For years the foundation lay exposed, a symbol of frustration. Prophets Haggai and Zechariah reignited hope, urging the people to finish God's house. With renewed determination and a decree from King Darius, work resumed. In 516 BCE, the Second Temple was completed, a modest structure but a powerful symbol of rebirth. It became the center of Jewish life for centuries. Pilgrims returned, and Jerusalem began to grow again. The Second Temple anchored a nation rising from the ashes. It was more than a building, it was hope restored. Jerusalem's spirit endured, shining brighter than ever. Jerusalem thrived under Persian rule, its people rebuilding their city and faith after years of exile. The city's walls rose again, and the temple became the heart of Jewish life, echoing with prayers and rituals. For generations, Jerusalem was a center of learning and worship, a beacon of hope for Jews across the region. But everything changed when Alexander the Great swept through in the 330 BCE, bringing with him the winds of conquest and a new world order. Hellenistic culture flooded the city, introducing Greek language, art, and philosophy. This cultural wave divided the Jewish community. Some embraced Greek customs, while others clung fiercely to their traditions, creating tension and debate in Jerusalem's streets and synagogues. After Alexander's death, his empire fractured. Jerusalem passed first to the Ptolemies of Egypt, then to the Seleucids of Syria, each dynasty leaving its mark on the city's politics and daily life. The Seleucid king Antiochus IV, determined to unify his realm under Greek culture, outlawed Judaism and desecrated the temple, turning it into a shrine for foreign gods. This act of sacrilege shocked the Jewish people and sparked outrage throughout the land. Refusing to submit, a priest named Mattathias and his son Judah rallied a band of rebels, the Maccabees. They launched a daring guerrilla revolt, striking from the hills and forests fueled by faith and the dream of freedom. Against overwhelming odds, the Maccabees defeated the Seleucid armies and recaptured Jerusalem in 164 BCE, a victory that stunned the ancient world. Their first act was to cleanse and rededicate the temple, restoring it as the spiritual heart of the Jewish people. The city rejoiced as sacred rituals resumed. This miraculous victory is celebrated as Hanukkah, the festival of lights, a time when a small jar of oil burned for 8 days, symbolizing hope and divine providence. The Maccabean revolt became a powerful symbol of religious freedom and national survival, inspiring generations to stand firm in the face of oppression. Through every trial, Jerusalem's resilience shone through adversity, its people refusing to let their spirit be broken. The city's identity was forged in the fires of resistance, each struggle strengthening its resolve and sense of purpose. The Second Temple stood once more, a beacon of hope and faith for all who looked to Jerusalem. The struggle against Hellenism defined a new era, shaping the city's destiny and the identity of its people for centuries to come. Jerusalem's spirit could not be extinguished, its flame burning bright through every challenge. Its legacy of faith, courage, and defiance would echo for generations, inspiring all who cherish freedom and hope. The Maccabean victory was a turning point, leading to the rise of the Hasmonean dynasty, an independent Jewish state after centuries of foreign domination. For the first time in generations, the people of Judea experienced self-rule, and a sense of national pride flourished. Jerusalem blossomed as a vibrant city, its markets bustling and its influence growing. Yet, unity soon fractured as Hasmonean rulers began to adopt Hellenistic customs, blending Greek culture with Jewish traditions which sparked controversy and division among the people. New religious and political factions emerged, most notably the Pharisees and Sadducees, each with their own vision for the future of Judea. These groups often clashed, debating the role of tradition, law, and foreign influence. Rivalries within the Hasmonean family erupted into civil war, as brothers fought for the throne. This internal strife weakened the kingdom and opened the door for outside powers to intervene. In 63 BCE, the Roman general Pompey the Great marched into Jerusalem, seizing the city and bringing an end to Jewish independence. The hopes of self-rule faded as Rome asserted its dominance. Judea was reduced to a client state of Rome, ruled by local kings who owed their power to the empire. Among them was Herod the Great, whose reign would leave a lasting mark on Jerusalem. Herod transformed the city with ambitious construction projects, including the magnificent Second Temple, grand palaces, and impressive city walls, reshaping Jerusalem's skyline. Yet despite his achievements, Herod's rule deepened resentment among the people. Many saw him as a puppet of Rome, more interested in pleasing his imperial patrons than serving his own people. The city's outward splendor masked a growing sense of unrest and dissatisfaction. Beneath the surface, tensions simmered as the people struggled with foreign rule and internal divisions. The shadow of Rome loomed ever larger over Jerusalem, fueling tension, resistance, and the seeds of future rebellion. Herod's temple became a powerful symbol of both the city's glory and the oppression felt by its people under foreign influence. Jerusalem's fate was now inextricably tied to the ambitions of great empires, its destiny shaped by forces far beyond its walls. The city stood at the crossroads of power and faith, its future uncertain as it navigated the turbulent currents of history. A century of turmoil, transformation, and struggle was about to unfold, forever altering the fate of Jerusalem and its people. Amid Roman rule and unrest, Jesus of Nazareth emerged in Galilee. His teachings of love, repentance, and the kingdom of God resonated with the oppressed. In Jerusalem, he challenged both Roman and temple authority, culminating in his dramatic entry and the cleansing of the temple. Seen as a threat, he was arrested, tried, and crucified by Roman order. His followers believed in his resurrection, transforming Jerusalem into the heart of a new faith, Christianity. For them, the city became a symbol of redemption and hope. Jerusalem's spiritual legacy deepened, touching the world. Decades after Jesus' death, tensions exploded into the Great Jewish Revolt of 66 CE. Jewish rebels seized Jerusalem, defying Rome's might. The Roman response was devastating. Vespasian and then Titus besieged the city. Inside, civil war and famine ravaged the population. In 70 CE, the Romans breached the walls and destroyed the Second Temple. Jerusalem was razed, its people killed or enslaved. The temple's destruction ended a millennium-old tradition. Only the Western Wall remained, a symbol of loss and faith. The Jewish people were scattered, beginning a long exile, yet Jerusalem remained at the heart of their prayers. The city's ruins became a testament to endurance. Its story would continue, shaped by memory and longing. After 70 CE, Jerusalem became a Roman camp, then a pagan city, Aelia Capitolina, under Emperor Hadrian. Jews were banned. A temple to Jupiter rose on the Temple Mount. In the 4th century, Emperor Constantine's conversion transformed Jerusalem again. His mother Helena identified Christian holy sites, leading to the construction of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Jerusalem became a Christian capital, filled with churches and pilgrims. Jews were allowed to mourn at the Western Wall once a year. The city flourished as the spiritual center of the Byzantine Empire. Christian culture and pilgrimage reshaped its landscape. For 3 centuries, Christian Jerusalem dominated, until a new faith arose in Arabia. The city's destiny was about to change once more. In the 7th century, Islam emerged, and Jerusalem gained new significance. According to tradition, Muhammad's night journey and ascension sanctified the city for Muslims. The Temple Mount became the Haram al-Sharif, Islam's 3rd holiest site. In 638 CE, Caliph Omar peacefully accepted Jerusalem's surrender. He guaranteed safety for Christians and began restoring the sacred platform. A simple mosque was built, later the Al-Aqsa Mosque. Jerusalem became a city sacred to 3 faiths. Its conquest marked a new era of coexistence and transformation. The city's skyline would soon reflect Islamic grandeur. Jerusalem's legacy grew richer, layered with faith and history. The Umayyad caliphs built the Dome of the Rock, crowning Jerusalem's skyline. The city's sacred geography now united Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The Western Wall, Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and Haram al-Sharif stood side by side. Jerusalem became a city of unparalleled spiritual intensity and conflict. For Jews, it is the city of David and the temples. For Christians, the place of Jesus' death and resurrection. For Muslims, the site of Muhammad's ascension. Each faith claims Jerusalem, fueling devotion and strife. Its stones are soaked in prayer and blood. Jerusalem promises heaven, yet has often seen earthly conflict. It remains the sacred, contested heart of the world. The city's legacy endures, eternal, beloved, and fiercely fought over.